Hello, and welcome to Rule of Thirds, a conversation about art, design, and culture, with your hosts,
Burns,
Mike,
and Jude.
If this is your first time listening, welcome to the family. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram at Rule of Thirds Pod. Don't be shy to say hi. All right, now to the episode. When looking at the spaces we navigate as creatives, how intentional are we about the way we network and build community? Is there a genuine desire to help and support one another, or are we all just focused on how people can help us build our image and our brand? And we're live.
How we doing, my people?
Yeah, we're. I'm great. I'm great. How are you, Burns? With your little sippy cup situation happening there?
Why is man baiting me out, fam? I'm having some apple juice. So this is one of your 5 a day.
Now, don't make it sound like you're making it sound like it's like some casual apple juice in a glass. Like, explain the whole scenario. Like, don't make it like, oh, it's apple juice. Like, you're drinking Copella or something. No. What are you drinking?
Is this what we're doing?
No. What are you
What's
drinking?
the brand?
Yeah, what's the brand?
He said like it's Copella.
I'm drinking Prince's.
What's that?
Don't act like don't do that. Don't
Give me
do that.
Prince.
Prince's apple juice from concentrate. You get it from Costco.
That is for a child. For a baby.
Come on, man. I'm a child of God, man.
Oh, get out.
What you saying, though? What you lot saying? We're good, yeah?
Michael said he's good. Or
I'm alright.
yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You're all right.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Alive and blessed. How about you, Jude?
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Oh,
I think it's
Why are you
good.
tired?
So I think it's going to the point where
Wake up.
Oh my!
but it's not today.
I don't like you. I do, but I don't.
'Cause I've been working like since Jan till now. I think I'm going to the point where like, okay, I deserve a break. I'm plotting maybe the next like few weeks just to kind of like just ease off. Mentally tired, not necessarily physically, but just mentally tired.
You want to like go on like a retreat somewhere in the UK?
We've had conversations about this in like amongst like some of myself and my friends, and I know it's not. You know how people are like they'll be like yeah I'm on it, and then
Time comes and then
yeah
It's
exactly
from everyone.
you know. But yeah, no, I think it's just I really want to kind of just because things are starting to open up again. It'd be nice to kind of just go and see things, but I don't know. I feel like it's a weird it's a weird time. Like networking is weird now. Like it was so normal before lockdown. I don't know. It's just it's weird, but I mean we talk about it after. But Burns, how are you?
Well done it. Man's obviously been active. Get me.
I heard you joined the new social media platform.
So I was advised.
Advised.
I was advised to, build my brand a little bit more.
I swear.
So now, guys, you can find me at Burns Jr. on TikTok. Wow. So obviously, if I'm being honest here, Tuesday I didn't rate TikTok innit? I was thinking, look, it's gonna be on my platform to get on and that. You know what I mean? I can't lie. Now I've been on it, I can see how crazy it can be. If you're not careful, yeah. So people have been avoiding screen time on Instagram. The screen time that you're going to battle on TikTok.
Different
It's
principalities.
bondage. So yeah, I've had to be, but I've seen some really cool videos though. To be fair,
Mm.
I'm excited to see what.
Yeah. Forget about the other videos. What can we expect from you?
What on TikTok?
Yeah.
Reviews, different events that I go to, music, my amazing friends.
That
Nice.
actually makes sense. I really like now that you've mentioned it. I don't know. I low-key feel trigger. I'm like, I really should be using like the platforms to document stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know when you get lost in like something you're doing and you forget to kind of like pull out your phone.
Yeah. I think that's what I like about it is that you can actually document what you're doing in your daily life. Like, I feel like TikTok is actually the basic things of life that you're doing, but you don't. Do you know what I mean? You know how there was like this sort of like meme of like how you look on LinkedIn, how you look on Facebook, how you look on Twitter.
Yeah.
I feel like TikTok is like how you look like on an average day of life, basically. What are you actually up to?
Makes sense. That's a good
I hear
way.
that.
Obviously, some people are just doing weird faces on that TikTok thing.
But I mean, if that's them on a daily basis, then
exactly.
them on a
You get
daily
me?
basis.
So, yeah, but nah, it's sick still. Yeah, man. I've also been out to like bare restaurants and just like been enjoying this like release of. I feel like it's lockdown's done, innit? Like,
That's what it feels like.
I think so.
you know what I mean?
Feels like
But that's
that.
what I'm saying. Like, it's just it's a weird feeling.
Weird. Yeah.
Like, you don't know if it's 100% or not.
Yeah, I guess because we've been in it for so long, and then
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
the government being the government, when I think ever really clear. But yeah, I think everyone's just at a point where they're like, cool. If we get it, then
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like June 21st is like, to be fair, maybe I do see what they're doing. I feel like we're in like the middle phase of like and then when we get to June 21st,
Right.
it's done.
Like we'll be used to
now
it.
it's
Like,
like,
transitioning.
It's a transition.
Yeah,
Imagine
yeah.
we snap straight back into June 21st.
Hey.
That's gonna be brazy.
madness.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I do hear it, to be fair.
It's just weird though, because last week I went to like an event and it was just weird. I don't usually feel very anxious when I'm in spaces. I was mad anxious because it's just everybody was hugging, touching.
What was
Like,
you?
Just way too many
really?
people. Yeah, I was just.
I
yeah,
can't
I was just,
confirm if
sat
that's
on
part of the
like,
guidelines. Oh, it is.
Obviously,
Isn't
it's
it?
the same day. No, because I was thinking, yeah, okay. So what I'm saying is, it was just weird, like being in the midst of so many people
Yeah.
at once. Like when you're at work, earlier in the day, I had to get the COVID test and stuff because I'm on set. So that's fine. I get that, and everybody gets the test, so you feel safe and you feel like you can take your mask off and like do what you have to do. But like later on in the day, like just walking around, and then I went to the event, and everybody obviously had no masks. Everybody was like skin out, sun was out, like people were.
Someone's out. In what England?
Well, it was out for like 10 minutes, but like,
fair enough.
it was humid. It was humid enough for people to have like
Yeah.
the skin out.
Yeah.
And everybody was. It just felt like when summer is here. So I was like, hold on, is that it? Is that COVID over?
Yeah, it does feel a bit surreal. Like I was at an event on Saturday, Seen and Heard. They were doing like a sort of a music thing with DJs at South Bank Centre, and like just seeing people that's happy dancing. Obviously, everybody rule of six and all that kind of stuff, but there's people seeing people dancing and just happy listening to music. I was like, rah, fam, like. This life before COVID was actually luxurious, fam. So I'm kind of excited to like. Do you know what I mean? Like we take for like even the other day, like sitting in the restaurant, I was like, fam, it's so warm in here. Ambiance. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
Why is there a woman here?
Bro, what? In England, fam, you're drinking. I don't know. You're drinking tea, and cold water is just pouring on your in your thing.
More flavor.
That's some more flavor. The salty Thames River, fam. But flipping.
But no, I genuinely am like concerned because a lot of new creatives are, myself included, are going to be like exposed to the elements again, and all the skills that most people have like amassed before COVID hit. Now they have to kind of like almost like sharpen all your tools again.
Yeah.
So much has happened. 2020 is basically like a ghost year. A lot of people just like omit that year out of history at this point because we don't even talk about it. That massive jump, but the amount of things that have happened and even the conversations that are happening now is like completely different space. And it just, it just feels like, you know, when you're watching a show and there's a massive time skip with the characters.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
It feels like The Crown right now, bro.
Yeah.
No,
So,
facts.
suddenly, like someone's married, someone has kids, someone this, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Different because now, true to say, we've missed a lot. Like, people have gone through so much stuff. People have even lost people.
Yeah.
People have like
Yep.
gone through different stuff. Like, but if in some sense, I do feel like maybe this sort of new normal will be like, I feel like people will be more transparent and open. I don't know. I feel like people have been more themselves, more authentic, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? They probably realise who they are a bit more in this sort of like lockdown. Because think about it, you're in your head all the time, you're in your own space,
Yeah.
and you're thinking quite a lot. So maybe actually, I don't know, maybe it might bring more deeper and enjoyable conversations.
I see what you're
I guess
saying.
we'll have a lot more to talk about, innit? Especially if you haven't seen like some people in a really long time. 'Cause
Yeah.
like you guys, I've been out and about as well. Even went to like a
Oh yes, you have. You have,
Excuse
Michael, haven't
me.
you?
Galavanting.
I'm not alone.
Roaming like a roaring lion.
Yeah, like even last
Looking for whom to devour.
Get out. Get out. So anyways, yeah, so even yesterday, had like a friend's birthday and meeting different people and seeing people that I have not seen in a year plus, especially because like they were part of like my old church. So that was the last time we saw each other or spoke. So having certain catch-ups, and I think there were certain people, even from social media, that I knew, but I had met first time at the party, and we were all saying the same things, especially as creatives. We were like, oh yeah, we feel like we just had the time to like reflect on things, and we were talking about like projects that we would want to do, like passion projects, and like returning to those things again. So yeah, I definitely feel like, yeah, we'll possibly be a bit more open and honest because we've had to like face ourselves for the past year and a bit, like whether we've liked it or not. In these four walls, we've all had to kind of go through things and focus on stuff and like see the realities of situations. Even recently, I've been seeing a couple of videos on my recommended about people that aren't looking to. It's not that they're not looking to pursue a career, but they're coming to the realization that, like, you know what, yeah, when it comes to working, don't really know if it's for me. Obviously, in this society, can we really do that? I don't know. But like people really thinking about why it is that they're doing what they're doing. What's the point? Even people's working habits. Like there was even a study. Trying to remember the exact figures. Something to do with, would people either, this was in America, would people either take like a 20 or 30K pay rise if they were to, if they had to go and work like somewhere, or would they be okay with like less pay, working at home? Can you guys hear anything?
No.
Sorry, I want.
Wait, is it like a bass kind of?
Making noise? Okay, I think they're gone. My bad. But yeah, there was this questionnaire that went out. So yeah, it was either I think a 30 or 40K pay rise, and you get to go back into the office. You have to go back to the office to work, or there's a chance of you having like a 4-day work week and having less pay. And majority of people took the latter option of working from home and having less pay. And yeah,
Okay.
so I guess we've all had a lot to think about, and yeah.
I've got a question.
Go on, mate.
Feel free to share.
So, going into like this whole new freedom, what is one thing that you guys don't want to kind of like come back into this kind of like new, I guess, newfound freedom? If that question makes any sense at all.
Yeah, it does. It does. The first one that jumped to mind immediately was actually like the rush hour element of work. Like, I do not want to see that again. can't
I
see
really
it.
missed that. I can't lie.
You miss wait. So you enjoy people breathing
Wow.
their cigarettes, smoke, cigarettes, coffee, breath.
Not the breathing, not the breathing part.
You know when back in the day. No, you might know, blood. When you're in secondary school, your teachers, can I help you with that?
Sus.
Huh?
Oh,
Bro, that's to be a reduction in pace. I feel like that's something I don't want to see anymore. Because I remember a while back actually, I asked myself, actually I put it on my story, I think. I was like, why are we, you know that meme, why are you running? But it was like, why are we all like, if you notice here, when you step into London, there's like this fast pace of movement
yeah.
all the time. Like people are always eager to be somewhere. Do you know what I mean? It's like, actually, can we just take a step back and enjoy,
Right.
you know, the little bits of like, little moments in this life? If that makes sense. Like, let's stop rushing everywhere. And I think that's what I've loved about this. Sort of not loved lockdown because it wasn't because of a good reason, but obviously there's benefits in every single thing, right? But I think what I loved about this is that it's caused us to slow down and actually take a step back. Like, you know, like for example, like I don't know, maybe you're designing something and actually, because you're rushing something, you're missing a mistake that's actually going to affect your work. Like, that's kind of how I feel, and it's like we've actually taken a step back, analyze the situation, and seeing where we can improve. And I feel like if we go back to that sort of like rush hour, and by all means probably gonna come back, but we don't have to go by that flow, if that makes sense. I think then maybe life will be a bit more richer in substance.
What about you,
I'd
Michael?
probably say the same. I was definitely thinking of like just busyness and not being that busy or so consumed with like so many different projects or work things that you kind of almost get caught up in that. I know for me anyway, like I can be very like focused, or I can get like tunnel vision really badly. So if I'm like working on a lot of stuff, I'll just like be in that headspace for a while. And then before I know it, like days or weeks have gone past and I'm like, oh, okay, so where is everybody? And, you know, people are like, okay, you've really been giving us airtime or all sorts. So it'll probably be that, not doing so much. Or if I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff, just making sure it's stuff that I actually want to do. And I'm happy to do. Because, like,
That is
nowadays, I
big,
just
you
really
know.
value
Things that you
time.
actually want to do. That's so big.
You know,
fam.
sometimes you just take things because either out of like out of emotion or to be nice, or other times it's maybe because, you know, situations may mean that you might have to take on an extra thing or extra project and stuff. But I just keep asking myself, like, okay, at what cost? Because it sounds great when you take it, but then when you're in the middle of it, can be a lot of hassle. So yeah, definitely that. What about you, Jude?
So my one, because I've been thinking about it, especially after the event that I went to, and I think I just it's not necessarily something that I don't want to bring in, but more so something that I'd like to be added.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's like creative community, and I can't lie, I'm so jealous of the
No,
Americans
I
sometimes.
I fully hear you.
I hear that, bro.
Different.
I hear that, bro. Shout out to the higher powers, though, if you know what I mean. The higher powers that we are in.
done. But the thing is, the thing is, I think what hurts the most is when you get into spaces and the not necessarily the organizers or whoever is in charge of whatever, but there isn't a level of accountability for the people that you have invited or brought to a space or any type of.
And what do you mean by that as well?
So like they don't facilitate situations for people to feel comfortable. So it's like I remember like I was there and I was just like obviously eavesdropping because I was tired as hell. I didn't have the energy. My social battery was like on like 1%. So I wasn't even trying. And I think Michael, probably even Burns, you guys have seen me in social settings. I'm quite like, hey.
So animated.
But this time I was I was like done out because I'd been up from like 7 a.m. all the way till around like 8 9 p.m. So I wasn't in like the mood. So I was just sitting down, just like listening and watching, and all I could hear people saying, "Oh yeah, everyone here is friends." Like I don't know anyone. Da, 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 da. And it was just kind of like a weird like. In my head, I'm like, but there's like at least 8 or 9 people who know everyone here, and they can do without having a conversation with their friends
Right.
tonight. Like, why not sacrifice that conversation and have it with someone you never had it with?
That's
You know,
a great point. Yeah.
And it's something that I see a lot. Me, I'm that person where if I'm at an event, if I'm anywhere, if I see someone quiet, I will be like, "Hey, you're right. What's going on?" Because I know that feeling, and I hate for someone to feel that, especially when you go into a space where everybody knows each other, and those who don't know each other might be more, as Michael would say, animated enough to be outspoken and be like, "Hey." Not everybody has that, and I know there's a lot of anxiety in the creative communities because most people who create things or designers or whatever are quite reserved people, and it's just I feel like there is so much joy and strength when we can actually communicate face to face without the fear of being like, oh, that person's too high up, or oh, that person's too cool or too famous or whatever. And I don't know. I just feel like it's such a like a. It's just such a secondary school mentality. Like we're the cool kids and you're not, and we know everybody. If you want to talk to me, naturally in your head you're like, oh, this person's trying to get something from me. It's just a very jaded approach to like socializing. And I don't know. I just feel like if that can change this year, that'd be amazing. Especially because we've all been like in our little cocoons at home. But I don't know. From what I saw, I didn't have high hopes, but it would be amazing if that could happen. Community, really.
Yeah. So yeah, when you're speaking, it kind of reminded me of like. So I went to this event on Saturday by myself, and I'm like, should we normalize going to more events by ourselves, more creative events by ourselves, or do you feel like we should go with people? Because, like you're saying, Jude, like sometimes we go to these places and we're in like our different cliques and stuff, but I think that's one thing that I really don't like. And I love my friends and everything, but actually, we're with each other all the time, and we know each other very well. Like we haven't come to. I mean, obviously, some things that you come to events as you're coming together as friends, but of creative events, they're creative events. Are you telling me you've come out to meet your friends that you already know, or do you want to meet up new people? And like even me going out to this event by myself, not that I was forced to, but I actually enjoyed speaking to people I've never met in my life. I learned
Nice,
new
isn't it?
things. Do you know what I mean? Like it was refreshing. And I feel like we should normalize, like, yeah, don't worry about it, man. Let's step out. And obviously, it's more complex than that. Some people generally have like social anxiety and stuff, so I know it's not easy, but like, yeah, I feel like if you can, maybe you take that leap of faith, innit?
No, it is important. It is important. I guess with the rise, like as things are getting back into normal, it's things that maybe people can practice. Cause yeah, obviously doing it online is a bit weird, like on a Zoom event or something. But
Yeah.
I think yeah, on a Zoom it's weird because I feel like I've been to a couple and they're like, oh yeah, engage in the comments, and you're like, no.
In the comments,
Right.
please. Where's this Facebook? Who said engage in the comments?
You know, but hopefully with like in-person events it is important. Like I know it was something that I did starting out, probably because I had to be fair, because I didn't know any creatives. What the hell? So I had no choice. But I feel like over the years, I'm not gonna lie, with some events I think Jude knows because of what was the event that you went to, and I can't lie, in my head I was just there like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to say hello.
We're just chilling on the wall or something.
I was sitting on the sofa like, when is this guy gonna come? Hurry
Flatbreads.
up. Yeah, but firmly,
Oh,
I
was
think-
he waiting for you to come to the motive?
Oh yeah.
You know what kills me? That gives you flashbacks to like, you know when you go to like parties and stuff, and you're just there on your phone.
No, guys, this was me yesterday. This was
Oh,
me
is it?
yesterday until my friend came. But then, so basically, The thing is, I can talk if I have to, it's fine. And if I get into the swing of things, it's cool. But I guess obviously because of COVID, it's been a while since I've met new people that I don't know. So my friends,
Rusty.
like my friend's
What did you say?
birthday.
You said
Rusty.
Oh, Rusty.
Sorry.
You need some Hoyo.
It
For
was,
real.
it was mad. But like, luckily, I asked there was a guy there who does directing, and luckily, like when someone was like, they mentioned his name, and I was like, oh, I actually recognize you from your work and stuff. So that was like a good way to kind of ask. And normally, when you ask people, oh, what do you do? And luckily, most of the people at that event were creatives. They were like directors. There was a lot of directors actually, people that worked in music, film, in theater as well. That was just an easy way because they will talk and then you just ask the leading questions into that. But I can't like, there were some moments that it was only 3 of us because I came early, which was probably my own fault. And yeah, you're just sitting in this space and everyone's on their phone. And I'm trying to make more of a conscious effort not to look at my phone. But when nobody is doing the same and everyone's looking at their phone, you're like, help.
Play the game, innit?
unless you want to read your book or something.
Yeah, but
I don't know,
but it's
but-
definitely something that's important to practice.
Oh, don't be that person, please. Or everyone
God.
pulls out their phone and there's you with like a 500-page book reading in the corner. Like, what's wrong with you?
That's
fam?
so
like, get
No,
out.
I feel like
Hey.
you guys are draw. No, to be fair, that's because I went to a concert on my own.
Whoa.
You were reading a book at a concert.
We were waiting for Beyonce and Jay-Z to come, so let me read.
Okay,
You're
that's
reading-
understandable. It
you're
might
reading
take
a book?
time. So,
In my head, I was like, I could have actually spoken to some people, but yeah, I
That's-
was just
yeah.
like, let me just look down and read my book.
to Benson's point earlier about like going to like more events on your own and stuff, yeah. Like I totally agree, but it's such a daunting thing to do, especially because you in your head you might have the right idea and be like, you know what, I do want to do things more on my own, blah blah blah. But like at the same time, we kind of like know low key that human beings are very codependent and we like humans and we want to feel comfortable in order to be more comfortable. So it's like, imagine like if I go to an event and I go with someone I know, yeah, there is more of a chance of me talking to more people than it would be if I just went on my own.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I totally understand that, like, it's kind of like that whole domino effect. It's like, okay, cool, you're coming with your friends, everyone's coming with their friends, and there's that one person who decided to be brave that day and go on their runs, and they're just in the corner or reading the book. It's such a peak situation. Yeah, you know. So
It'd be like that
No,
sometimes.
because there was you can't. You're the ones where man's looking at you like, what's my man doing here, like?
yeah,
Don't be like-
like, are you like, you know the weird thing? So the event I went to, yeah, like I was in there and I remember people like will look at you dead in the eye, yeah, and look away.
It's so weird.
Wait,
so weird.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? They're looking at you.
So like, for example, like I came in and like me, usually I like to be on time to like events just because I want to kind of see, most of the time I just want to talk to who's actually organizing it,
Unlike some people.
you know. But yeah, so, like, so most of the time, yeah, if if I'm not working or if I'm not coming from somewhere, like I usually like to be on time just so I can speak to people and blah blah. But we all know, unfortunately, the stereotype about black events and how sometimes they start quite late. So you think you're gonna get there a bit late, and you get there and you're still mad early, right? So this event I went to, like, there's some people, for example, that I've spoken to before, right? Like, they know me, but they were with their friends, so they just looked at me and looked away. I was thinking like, ah,
So awkward.
is this what we're doing? Like,
Let's discuss this, bruv, because I feel like this happens too often. I don't know. Okay. Let's talk for ourselves. 'Cause I'm even gonna be like, all these men are doing. When we see people, yeah, that we know, because me personally, unless look, if I'm not gonna see, I'm very sorry. I've probably like not done on purpose, but like, I'll be honest, yeah. Whenever I see somebody that I know, I'm definitely gonna step out and say, yo,
oh
what you saying?
yeah.
I don't. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially if you're coming alone to an event.
Like, why would you just look at them and be like,
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting us by listening. Be sure to share your thoughts with us using the hashtag RuleOfThirdsPod. Enjoy the rest of the conversation.
I feel like with the creative industry, like it's just seemed like the norm to just exclude people and form your own like bubbles and not get people involved. Why is that?
I do feel like with some people might like the whole exclusivity thing, maybe because like that's what we've known it to be. So some people have just like kind of copied that, which obviously isn't really helpful. But it's like, oh, okay, maybe we knew what it took to get us here. So I don't know. Some people may feel like other people need to do their own hard work. I don't know. I feel like it's that kind of thing linked with like the whole crowds in the market thing.
Right.
But yeah, obviously that's not really going to help move things forward if we're going to be acting like that. So yeah, it's really weird.
It just backfires, fam.
Because if we're gonna be like fair, it could be that maybe because they get so many people asking them for favors and stuff.
This is true.
So maybe that's why they're very, very like.
Okay, so I can fully hear that now because of recently. I can't lie, I've been a bit
or closed off.
I felt a bit more closed off.
But the thing is, that shouldn't change the integral part of who you are. So you could still be a nice person.
For me, I always embrace people no matter who you are.
I'd rather hear you say, "Sorry, bro. Like I totally hear you, but I can't really help you right now." And I think the perfect example, I think I saw it in the J. Cole Dreamville, Revenge of the Dreamers documentary. There was one point where J. Cole was walking through the alleyway, and obviously because there were a lot of people that he invited to the studios. Some of them were fans, some of them were like SoundCloud artists, blah blah. He just invited select people, but it was very, very eclectic. It wasn't just, oh, we're all famous, let's just invite ourselves and come. It was a bunch of people from different levels, and like halfway, like at one point, one of them was like, "Oh, can I take a picture with you, Cole?" And he was like, "Bro, I'm here all weekend. Like, let's do this another time. We're here for the music." You know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of like,
that's never a routine. That's just generally like,
look, we're here for this. Let's do this. Cool. But it doesn't mean that suddenly Cole is a prick because he said that. He just told you like, look, let's do this another time. Like everybody, like I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Entitled to that. So
it's just like,
like as human beings,
exactly. And like I feel like if
in that way,
if you're at that level and you feel like you need to hold on to your what's the word? Is it exclusivity? I guess just kind of like oh, I'm so scarce. People can't really get to me. Blah blah. No one can really reach me. I'm like, that's fine, but it's just you can't be a bad person. You just have to be a nice person about it.
Yeah. But I do understand. Like I won't deny and say that being exclusive doesn't increase your value to some extent.
It definitely does.
Like I remember I was watching this interview with Jerry Lorenzo, Fear of God's founder, and he was kind of saying that with Essentials, he actually wanted it to be for a certain demographic of people or certain look of people, but like now it's with everyone. But it's still making him money though.
True.
You know what I mean? Like it hasn't reduced the brand. He can still preserve the brand. But I feel like I feel like it's one of the things that you don't want to let it just float anywhere.
I see what you mean.
Because it feels like it's not been preserved. The meaning's gone out of the window.
I
do know what I mean?
Because as a creator of something, sometimes obviously like you have a vision for where you might want it to go, the type of people that will interact with it, or who will actually like maybe care about the stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like for any artist or creative person, like that's just something you're constantly thinking about. Even I remember this line in a book I'm reading called Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. He's got like a series of books that are really good. And he mentioned something like, okay, even when you have like, if you get to the stage where you have like thousands of supporters, like it's only like 10 or 20% of those guys who will actually care about what you do. Like if we think about example of like Beyonce and Lemonade, like everyone worldwide is like, oh my god, this album was amazing, smash, oh my god, artistic masterpiece. But it was a specific group or specific groups of people that were like, nah, this is something of like value to us and we actually really appreciate this.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I can see where he's going with that. And I guess with art or creative things or products, like when you commercialize it, I guess it sometimes you lose a bit of ownership of that because it goes to the people and then they kind of make it what it is. Because with essentials,
Yeah.
obviously, like we've seen how people, it's weird as well. Like when things get into like a predominantly black space, or like when more black people use them, it's really weird how people perceive things. Because
Suddenly.
sometimes it can be,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
cheap.
yeah. Like even with essentials,
Yeah.
But that's
weird.
that's such a poor mentality, man. We should. I get no, I get it. I get it though. I get it. It's not right, but it comes from somewhere. It comes from somewhere, like, and I'm not even gonna go into a whole discussion and history of like oppression and all that stuff. But we're not made to feel special. We're not made to feel of value. So if we're not made to feel of value, when we get to these spaces, what are we gonna feel?
I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
So I mean, we've never felt like, only recently, like in the past 10 years, as I'll say dark skinned black man, just to be clear, have I felt good about myself. Because I promise you, when I was in secondary school, I didn't feel good about myself. So of course I'm not gonna see the value in us because we've been told we're not good enough. Do you get me? So, but that's not an excuse to say that, oh, we should now continue that way. No, we must change that narrative, and that narrative's really been changing. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, we're starting to embrace ourselves now. We're starting to really clock that actually, no, we do have value. We are worth it.
When it comes to creators who create things and they go into like black spaces, what happens is that they are concerned mainly because of how it's perceived and also the monetary, because black people usually don't quote unquote spend as much as other demographics would. So it's like, yeah,
Huh?
that's what people think, but
I
it's a
swear
perception.
we're the biggest spenders.
Now it's a perception,
spending
like
power.
like we don't spend. You know, like for example,
Oh, it's a perception. Oh, you're saying
yeah,
it's okay.
it's a
Okay,
perception
okay.
that we don't spend. So it's
Perception,
like
yeah.
it's like okay,
Oh.
it's almost like if you create a product and the first people that you market that product to are quote unquote the lowest of the low in society's eyes, then what happens is they think that you've cheapened the brand. This, and it goes back to the conversation about exclusivity. People want to feel like what they have no one else has. So if suddenly I see all the people in a black community have it, I'm not gonna want it because in my head I'm thinking this must be like cheap or everyone has it. And it's not like it's not exclusive anymore. And I think that's why sometimes like these brands are always trying to market for the higher target, higher
sad,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like they want to put in the Selfridges and stuff because they know that not everyone can be in there. There's going to only be a select few people who can be there. But it's the way of the world, unfortunately, especially in this, like, you know, it's a money driven
That's
thing.
what happens.
yeah, it is.
The greatest example is Essentials.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now it's everywhere.
Once every black person got it, it's like, oh, nah, I'm not getting it anymore.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, like, it's very easy to fall into that mindset, I don't think it's like it's wicked or negative or anything like that. I think people just want to feel special. You know what I mean? But I think what is wicked and bad about it is that people actually start to degrade people because they're wearing that because everyone else has it. So it's, do you know what I mean? It's almost
There's
like
a very there's a
That's
very
me
thin
sometimes.
line. Wait.
wait, what you say, Jude? That's you sometimes.
That's me. Like if I see someone in Essentials, I'm just kind of like, you have no style. Like,
Oh my
like,
god.
What?
look,
So-
this is me personally.
I wear Essentials. So what?
I've never seen you wear Essentials, but if I did, I'd be
But
like,
I don't
I
wear
get-
it often though. But
That's
like,
fair,
yeah.
that's fair.
I kind of get where Jude is I get where you're coming from.
No, I know where he is coming from.
yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
There's like, okay, wow, this is probably
thin-
sounds
it's
so
a-
hypocr-
it's a
this
very
sounds so
thin line.
hypocritical, but it's fine. But yes, obviously there's like groups of people that may get something because one of the hype, or two, it's almost like the uniform, I guess.
yeah, it's the uniform exactly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the Converses. You know the Converses, Comme des Garçons Converse.
On the Garçon
Converses.
ones,
It's like
with the heart.
some
of
people
course.
actually do like it. Other people, like I do. I know for me, there was a time that I was like, okay, cool. It's almost like a creative rite of passage. Like when you hit a certain milestone, that's the shit you get.
No.
So other people, it's like, well, everybody's got it, so I'm gonna get it. So obviously, sometimes you go to an event, especially if it's in Shoreditch, that's the shoe you will see. So I do get that. But some
Look,
people,
I hear- yeah.
it's
I hear
a
it.
thin line because I think it's one of those things where it's like, okay, it's okay to feel like, okay, I want something that's exclusive, but it's just being cautious as to where that thought, like what the route is. Is it because a lot of people have it and you want to feel special, or is it because a lot of black people have it and now it's the go? Because people do this with trips to Dubai. Oh, Dubai, everyone's going to Dubai. Oh, Dubai. But
Well, if you get tickets to
of
Dubai,
course
you're
I
going.
want to go to Dubai. Of course.
Yeah, I can't lie. Yes, it's mad. But I hear what you're saying, Jude. Because it's like, for me, I think what I find really disgraceful. And I'm using the word disgraceful. I think it's disgraceful. Okay, let me see that. Okay,
Wasn't that? It's too much. It's too much.
I'll go ahead with it. How do man them not know who created Essentials?
No, this is the thing that really upsets me. Sorry, I'm shouting. I'm shouting because I had a conversation and some of these are friends. Some of these are friends. I'm like, oh yeah, Essentials. Oh, it's made by some guy called Jerry. I was like, are you guys sick? Are you guys? What's wrong with your brain?
Don't do that.
And this is the thing.
What?
It's almost some people not having appreciation for where this thing came from, the genesis of all of this,
That's why
because there
we
was
opened
fear
up.
of God for
Who is this
years.
guy?
My guy used to be a club promoter, and then he started
Yo.
fashion. There was a story
Bro.
here. There was a story
The
here,
story.
and then you now want to come and say, Essentials. I don't know who it's by. It's Essentials, so it's going to be cheap. And then you want to take the piss out of Essentials, even though the quality is probably better than a lot of things out there on the streets.
No, no. Dude, I promise you right now, people don't know who created Off-White. I promise you.
Behave yourself.
People just-
behave yourself.
Personally, I don't really mind if someone doesn't know who the designer is. I totally agree that it is like if you're gonna oh my god, I can't even get
Come on, man.
Fine.
You're spending like
Look, I get you.
you're
I
spending
get
like
you.
$2 You're spending $2 on a t-shirt. You don't know who it's by. Are you crazy?
I feel like
Money.
we have to Umar Johnson think about these, like, you know, the Hotep think sometimes. Like, if
Think about it, Mark.
maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's the way we value things or we don't value things, but or maybe we're putting too much expectation on people. I don't know. It's just painful.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair though. Look, some people just like to look good, and if they see that like everybody is
I
wearing
know that.
particular things, they wanna like, let me jump on that as well. That looks cool. I don't mind that. I personally, I don't mind that. But my thing is, if you're gonna like do it and then pretend like you are the one who's a stylist and you're the one who like you have got the drip. My thing is, but that's not how it works. I'm an advocate for everybody has their own style. Everybody has their own like, you know, approach. And obviously we pick it from somewhere else. No one just picks it out from their own head. So I get that we're influenced by the things that we see. Me, I see Kanye.
Of course,
he wears this. I like, ooh, that looks cool. I really want to try that if I could afford it.
But
or
you
so
have
and so
you
and
have
so.
a reference. You have a reference.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. I see what
A
you
lot-
man are saying.
Yeah, a lot of people are not, and that's what you're saying, Jude. You're saying like how some people would wear Essentials, and you would assume that they may not know fashion properly because
Well, I only say that just because I just feel like they don't have their own, like wearing an Essentials tracksuit.
This is it.
For me, it's a, like Michael was saying, it's the perfect word. It's a uniform. It's not you. Like there are a lot of pieces in the Fear of God
don't have to
collection
do
that are
any-
amazing.
Yeah.
And there's no how do I explain it? It's almost like wearing a Supreme top. That's what Essentials is right now.
Sorry. I'm getting very flustered. It's kind of like, you know, I'll never forget this. I love to what's this guy's name? It's not Big Tipper. I used to
Big
yeah.
Tipper?
What's this guy's name?
Max Comedy.
Shout out to Mike's Comedy.
Mike's Comedy.
Great comedian. Gave us banter back in the day. But I remember there
He's
was
not
a
gone, he's
time
still
where
here.
I think he wore.
He's
Oh yeah,
still,
he is.
he's
He is.
still
But
giving us
I don't know what he's up
this.
to now.
What's
But
it?
yeah,
Oh my
but like there was a time.
Uncle Felix. Uncle Felix.
There was a
Felix,
time,
I
yeah. I
remember
think
there
he
was.
wore like one fit, and there was a lot of designer stuff that he was wearing, right?
Oh, was it the Burberry
I think
thing?
so. And I remember people being like, yeah, not to take the piss out of him now, but like I remember that being a conversation at the time, and a lot of people were talking about, okay, all because it's designer doesn't necessarily mean that you're stylish. And I feel like sometimes with the essentials, it sometimes falls into that. I get what you're saying, like falls into that line of, okay, because I'm wearing this, because people know it's fly, and because the clothes itself are fly, that's all I need to do.
That's
and
all I
that's
need.
it.
Yeah.
But it's not really developing like your
Put in
personal
work.
style and stuff. It's okay to be expressive and try out different things, and you know, don't have to do everything because all the man them are doing it, kind of thing. But
Speaking of the man them doing it, there was a conversation with I can't remember who it was, but I remember it was in the Clubhouse room when Clubhouse was popping back in.
It still is, you know,
eons ago. I haven't
Oh
been
yeah,
on
how's
there for.
Clubhouse doing? I
I
haven't been there for a
haven't been
while.
on there.
all the unserious people have gone.
Oh, that's
Oh
good.
really?
Yeah, there's like really good conversations happening.
So basically, there was this conversation about how mandem basically don't have style, especially like
I remember
it was
this.
specifically
Yeah.
it was specifically about black men and them not having
Jesus
style and
Lord.
being afraid to express themselves
Yes.
creatively.
Yes.
And like when that conversation was going on, I was very like, how can she say this?
True, though.
Like she just does not get in the right place. And like looking back now, like I'm like, yeah, she was right.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
She was right.
I think, like you said,
A lot of people don't know how to dress.
I think it comes down to the expression thing as well. Because again, and like uniform, it's like because a lot of people are doing certain things, it's like, okay, well, as guys, this is just what we wear, so it's cool. And I know my bros are gonna be like, drip, 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 but
Yeah.
like,
Hey,
is that
looking
actually
cold,
what you would
bro.
want to do? Or you see these
Ew.
TikTok videos of clothes I can't wear or outfits I can't wear in South London. I live here, okay? Okay,
Oh
you
my
can wear
goodness.
these things. It's actually not that deep. Because you want to wear, I don't know, an orange t-shirt and, I don't know, or with another fit, you want to wear pink trainers, even though I have a pair. Have I worn them out in this? No. In this area? No. But like, you can do these things, and like, maybe we just need to think less of what other people may say, because they're probably not going to say anything or say it to your face, and just express yourself freely.
Yeah, man.
Lack of expression is killing people.
It's not easy. It's not easy though, because like even me, like I think, like I've had literally anxiety trying to dress how I want to dress. I'll be honest. But only till recently have I been like, I don't give a heck. I'm going out like this. Like legit, I want to dress how I want to dress because I'm going out. I don't care what people say. Like, that's legit how I feel, fam. So it's like, yeah, man. It's important, man.
Yeah. I just feel like
That's
it's
in your
something that
uniqueness.
if people don't acknowledge, then that's when the corporations or these business people get frustrated, because it's like everybody has their target audience, but some people will just fall into the I'm cool. And going back to the conversation we're having earlier about like people having events and all these kind of things and trying to sell the idea of exclusivity, but it's like you can't invite everybody, and then when everybody comes, you're like, but this is not for you. That just makes no sense.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's what frustrates
That's
me.
such a good point,
You can't say, oh look, we're for the people, we're for this, we're for that. I'm trying to do it for everyone.
And the
Everyone
people,
can
the
win.
people come and they're not even embracing them.
And the people come and you don't embrace them. Be it you selling your clothes.
happens so much, you know.
Like it just makes no sense. That's what stresses me out. You know, I just feel like if you want to do exclusivity, fine, but be all about exclusivity. Make a a private list where people have to email and you have to like get their contact details or whatever. A lot of people do that and it works for them. But don't sell the idea of community when you're not really about community.
Ooh.
You know?
Ooh. Repeat the line again.
Yeah,
them.
don't sell
PSA.
community if you're not about community. It just makes no sense.
Hello, hi.
Again,
Have you heard?
that's what stresses me out. Oh my god.
Kente Kwame 2021.
Because
Quote
that is very.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. You touched on something there, you know.
A lot of people do that.
Hey.
You know? If you think about it, like a lot of people do that. They'll be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, we're community run this, we're this." No, you're just a bunch of friends. That's not like the same as we're running for a community. It's just you and your friends, and that's totally fine. If you want to do this, like we're exclusive, like, and this is the thing.
you and
We
your
had this
friends.
conversation during the like the Q&A thing when someone was asking about, or if you have a brand and you know your friends, their target audience is basically their own friends. It's like that's not the same as community. You're building community out of your friends. And look, I'm not saying it's impossible, but most likely not all your friends will be interested in what you're doing. So how does that make sense? What kind of community are you building where all the people are all like they all do one job? It just makes no sense. Like you can't just invite everybody to a community because of their money. That's not community. That's a scam.
That's not a community. That's a scam. Put that on a t-shirt, bruv. Put that on a t-shirt. Car. Where? It's mad, you know, when you think about it that way.
It's actually very, very interesting because it's almost like it gets me thinking about the relationships that people have with like their audiences. Because for some it can be like, okay, we're promising you community, but really and truly, you're kind of allowing me to like. For some people, it might be a thing if you allow me to run events that I'm interested in it. I'm interested in, but I'm only willing to like go a certain distance with you. Like I'm not willing to maybe go all the way. Like, okay, we can run an event. I can have a speaker. We can talk. Nuggets of wisdom. That's it. But like when it comes to the nitty gritty and like the unique cases or, oh, I need help in this situation or that situation, some people aren't willing to do that, which kind of comes with it's almost like I kind of feel sometimes it's maybe a responsibility that people don't realize that they now have as a result of what it is that they're doing. It's kind of like how they say, Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility sometimes. And these are probably one of the responsibilities that if you're not aware of.
Yeah, it's people don't factor it in. Yeah. And also, another thing, and I definitely am guilty of this, sometimes it's just too much effort and we're too lazy to facilitate that. So you want to do this sort of, I don't know, maybe it could be an event, and you're saying, yeah, everyone's invited. But in your mind, you may just be thinking about the logistics. Is it going to generate some profit?
Yeah.
But there's some deeper details where it's like, actually, are the people that are coming going to feel welcome? Are they going to feel loved? Are they going to feel like they can come back again? And because I've been to some events where I'm like, wow, the reason why I enjoyed that event is because everyone is, I could speak to anybody I wanted there.
Yep.
And those have been the best events for me. And I feel like that's because people have made the intention to make it a space that I can speak to anybody. You know what I mean? People miss, that's a key detail in all these things that we do, you know. Like the details of it. And because everything's so like fast paced now, it's like we're not thinking about the small details. We're thinking about the bigger picture. We're thinking about that Instagram post when they were like, yeah, we sold out, or yeah, do you know what I mean?
The numbers.
You're thinking about the achievements and the glamour of it.
This person came to speak at our event.
Yeah.
I remember when at Skente Club we run Sankofa, and like I remember people coming in and feeling very weird because most people in there didn't know each other.
Right.
You know, and the whole aim of it was to bring people who are interested in the same thing but don't really get to spend time in the same spaces doing casual things like playing games and singing and doing like, you know, casual, like just casual conversation. It doesn't happen. Like it was a very tedious thing to facilitate because on the outside, of course, like Ben's is saying, you're like you just want to do the sellout, blah blah blah, which is fine. You do all that, but in the midst of it, there's logistics and thinking about, okay, cool, we're gonna have people who are coming here who are animators. How can we make these animators feel as equal as the musician? And that's one thing I remember. Like we had the discussion after, because what we did is we asked people for feedback about the event, and what a lot of people were saying is that it was catered more to people with vocal ability, so rappers, musicians, poets. But the visual side, a lot of people felt that they lacked because one, the venue was quite music, you know, catered. So it became a thing where it was lopsided. But we, like, I could tell you for a fact, on the day we were trying so hard to push people to either try things that they never tried before, or even participate in games and have conversations that would maybe lead to them. For example, you're a visual artist, speak to a musician, they might be looking for someone to do artwork, or you want to collaborate on something, you might need some music for that, or you're doing like, I don't know, a promo video and you need some whatever it is, you can find someone who can help you do that. But the thing is, it was always, that was the core of the whole thing. It was never about the money, because I remember me and like my partner Daniel, we went into it thinking we're probably going to lose money, but that doesn't matter, because the thing is, in Nottingham, we always wanted community and we never had it, and it was so difficult to kind of like try to just go. There were no events that would create scenarios or orchestrate situations for you to have these kind of conversations or meet these people. And like I remember, like literally right after that, almost like 80% of the people in there collaborated with someone, you know. Like till now, some of them have like our friends like this tight, and it's just like such. Sometimes it's so amazing to think. Like I think back, I remember like most people have that as like a key point in their mind. Like, oh, when we met at Sankofa, or oh, when we did this at Sankofa, or when I heard blah blah sing at Sankofa. And I think that community thing is what's lacking. It's very difficult to do. It's very difficult, but people are always trying to find the easy way out. And it always looks cooler when all your friends are at the event. Like I could have just said, you know what, I'm gonna invite all my friends. I have a bunch of friends. I could just invite.
That's very easy to do though.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so easy to do. That requires little effort.
Yep.
But I think what you raised was a good point. Like obviously you said how like people come at the event now and they're collaborating and stuff. And I think we should sort of approach things like, what is the end goal of all of this?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So if the end goal is, because naturally, if you have the end goal and you work backwards, you're more likely to achieve it. So if I'm like, okay, the end goal is I want people to leave here with at least 3 new contacts that they can create something with. You're going to make sure you may find, I don't know, maybe some games. You might find some icebreakers. You might find some discussions that will facilitate that to happen. Whereas if you're just thinking about, I know this, I want to sell out. You're just thinking about the people coming in.
Yeah.
You sold out.
Yeah.
Goal achieved. Do you know what I mean? That has to be the goal. That has to be a good goal that you're working towards. Otherwise, there'll be no point.
Yeah. Because imagine that event and then there's only 3 people that come.
Wait.
What do you do then?
Why?
Like, do you lock it off, or do you say, look, we're still gonna do what we came here to do, to make people?
That's a
yes, exactly.
question. That's a
do we look it off?
question.
Yeah.
Do we just look it off? Yeah.
And like I know people who like, because they couldn't sell tickets, they just lock it off. They just like, nah, we're not doing the event anymore. Like, why?
Yeah, but it goes back to like your intention, isn't it? Like, why are you doing it? Why are you really doing this? Because if obviously, like, if any of us were in that situation, I'm sure we'll probably be thinking like, oh damn, maybe at first it might be like, oh damn, maybe not a lot of people come, bummer. But again, I'm sure it'll be nice to think that we'd flip our perspective on it and be like, you know what, let's see what we can do with the people that come, because at least they're people that are coming for a reason.
Yeah, you just accommodate for that size.
I think this is all stemming back from the initial conversation that we had right at the beginning, which is like, after lockdown, it would be great to kind of have these kind of things manifest in a like a pure, not in just a genuine way, and not like forced. I feel like most of the event that I've been in prior to COVID is just like, half of the time I go in there and I know that there is a lot of forced engineering to create this feeling of cool, and it's not, and it's always because of the people who are heading the event and never the people who are in the building. Like, I want to go to an event and be excited because the people who are there, not because of like, it could have been John from across the street who organized it. It doesn't matter. It's about, what can I gain from being in this space right now? Because tomorrow I might not be here, I might be in another space, but the only difference would be, what did I gain from this space that was different from that space? Because like, Michael Jackson could come from the grave, rest in peace, and come and create an event, and I could go in there and it could just be cool people, but no one wants to talk to me, no one wants to relate to me, no one wants to communicate, no one's there willing to learn or to be taught. So it's like, if I go in there, that I'm gonna gain less than if I was in a space where the people who might be not the top of the top, but are willing to share knowledge, to have conversations, and to actually relate to me. you know. So it's just about like understanding that community isn't just about organizing a bunch of cool people, because more times these cool people do not want to be sharing their time, sharing their space, sharing their knowledge with other people who they might not respect or admire. So it's just kind of like a very unbalanced situation where you have someone who has no idea what they want to do creatively, and they're in a space with someone who's a professional, and the professional doesn't want to have a conversation because they don't want to have to go through, I love this word, the rigmarole of, you know, the like, okay, you need to do this and you could try this and you could try that. Oh, have you tried this? Have you tried that? What are you doing? What do you like? What don't you like? Have you tried doing this way? Let me give you this contact. Message this person. Talk to me. Drop me an email. Like, a lot of, you go to these most events and no one wants to really do that. They just want to go there, get drunk with their friends, and go home.
That's funny. Yeah.
And I can't lie, I've been guilty sometimes. Like, I'll be good at events. I just want to
No,
go there and
facts.
just have a good time. I really don't
Same.
want to be talking. But it's like, it's the wrong
No, but
event to go into.
it's okay to have it. But I mean, the attitude to have that every single motive,
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
to
yeah.
delete that. Do you know what I mean? Because some people are generally doing that for every motive. My clique. Do you know what I mean?
Gang.
Similar things happen with like me and I think some friends that I met at some creative events, and we just like stopped going to things because we were like, okay, we know that. Are we really going to take something new from this? Do we need to learn about this topic again? Are we actually in the mood to like network and socialize? No. So we're just like, okay, maybe we'll just kind of like give it a miss and stuff. But like this conversation has definitely got me thinking of like even people I know who may be in need of help, because there are definitely people that I know that are in need of help or they ask questions. It's so mad because at first I definitely had energy like, yeah, like obviously we should be more intentional, but even me, I'm just like, sometimes I'm tired, I'm not gonna lie. But I guess it's just again communicating that like I'll try and get back to you soon. And it's mad because in the creative industry that's just a thing that is so common, and depending on what chapter of life you're in,
What's
that
that?
can be a okay, that's no problem, or like
You're being tired. I'll get back
you've
to you.
broken my heart. Yeah,
I'll get back to you.
that
You're not here for me.
don't say that, because it is hard out here, and sometimes there is like an overload or like high demand. Because even thinking about certain people that are like higher in the game, I guess we don't really think about. I feel like I'm repeating a lot of stuff, but like we don't really think about how much work does go into having to be that person to connect the dots or to network, and maybe we just need to start thinking more that way. Like we really need to be like, okay, cool. If we want to be this type of person, we have to be willing to know these are the stakes or these are going to be some expectations. Because you don't want somebody to now be like, I met this person in real life and they're horrible.
And oh my god,
You know, and like don't meet your heroes in real life; they'll disappoint you, or whatever the phrase is.
Yeah, I've been told that so many times, bro. Like, have you man like ever met like a hero and you're like, obviously we're not gonna debate their names, but like, have you ever met like somebody and you're like, oh,
The thing is, I don't think I have anyone. I haven't met anyone I actually look up to, but the people who have been around that I'm like, whoa, you're like a fountain of knowledge. I need to like know, like I need to learn as much as I can. I need to observe who you are, how you move, what you do, blah blah. And luckily for me, like I think my previous boss was one of them, and he always had time. That's one thing I really, really admired, and that's what made me realize, like, I don't care what anybody says. No one's
too busy, kind of thing.
so busy they can't pick up a call.
I don't
if
care
they
what people
want to.
are saying.
Yeah, like, but the thing is, like he'll be like, if you need something, call me or drop me a message. It might take him a few hours,
Love that,
it might
man.
be a day or a day or two, but he will respond to you.
Love that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like he'll respond to you in a very meaningful way. He'll be like, give me 5 minutes and call me. And he'll have a conversation with you for like 2 hours. Just about like how you're feeling.
That's so important, man, bro.
You get what I'm saying? Like, but the thing is, like, this is a man who is busy. I'm talking about busy. He's busy. That's one thing I think I'm definitely gonna like take on board. But like just kind of like understanding that as busy as you, because the thing is, these people who are saying they're so busy, but they can speak to their friends.
Yeah.
They can still speak to their family. So obviously they're just being selective, which is understandable. I get it.
Exactly.
So you're saying
yeah.
you're too busy for me in particular, not necessarily you're too busy to respond.
Right now,
Because
yeah.
for
Right
me,
now, brother.
yeah, like you, I can't respond to you. You're not that important to me for me to respond, and that's fine. But my thing is, if you're gonna claim to be for community and for the people, then you have that responsibility. Like Michael was saying, you're Spider-Man. You can't just be enjoying your cobwebs, throwing and just thinking, yeah, that's life. Nah, you need to understand that you have a responsibility. After you're swinging, if you see someone who needs help, you can't just say, I'm going too fast right now. I can't really change my direction. I can't change my speed. If I do, I'm gonna hurt myself. No. You have to risk it all and jump back and see what that person needs. But it's fine if that's not your thing, then that's not your thing. But yeah, to Ben's question, I don't think I've met anyone. All the people who I've met that are just famous for one thing or another are just like they're all normal human beings.
Everyone's normal, bro. Literally flesh and blood.
That's what I love.
But you obviously give respect to what they've done and that, but
Yeah,
literally bare bone, fam.
just like you and us. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's important for us to just even remember, because sometimes we can put these people on such a high pedestal and like we separate them from us, so we're like,
Yeah.
oh, we can never do what they can do, or oh my god, they're just so amazing. Wow. Which is, obviously these people are great, but I feel like sometimes when people do that, it's like they now separate them and they're like, okay, I can never be like that person, I can never do the same type of thing, or they're not even human, and they use certain terms
Themselves
that's
out.
just but yeah, I think just remembering that people are human, because similar to you, like the people I've met that I really admire, yeah, they're just normal. And I like that, because me too, I'm normal. And it's just another reminder that, okay, if these guys can find a way to make things happen, I can find a way to make things happen too.
we
But yeah,
can
it's
too.
probably the people that we spoke about earlier that have maybe been a bit of a disappointment or moved a bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the
Also, I think
Oh,
and
go on,
that's
Burns.
just another point quickly. Yeah, that's another point. I think just so like, obviously, I want it to be a balanced discussion, but like also another thing. Sometimes people
This is
on
true.
that particular day, they may have gone through a mad thing that day. Do you get me? So like, there's always but some people where their character's consistent with that. So, do you know what I mean? There is people that are generally like they're just moving mad.
Yeah,
Other people actually have gone through a mad thing. Do you get like? I feel that we put too much responsibility on people, though.
Yeah.
Obviously, people deserve accountability.
Yeah, exactly.
More of a thing of like just
But
practice what
yeah,
you
I
preach.
can't. Yeah, I hear it. But
that, that kind of thing.
Practice
yeah,
what you preach.
yeah, basically.
We're not superhuman out here.
But at the same time, though, okay, let me give you a scenario now. You're an advocate for so about ethical designing. You're advocate for ethical designing, whatever. Now what? You got 100k followers, but 1,000 people message you almost every week, saying, "Hey, how can I be a better ethical designer?" And you're saying you're a community man. How are you gonna deal with that situation?
Okay.
How are you gonna deal with that
let's say,
situation?
Let's say, okay, this person that we're talking about, this ethical designer, let's say it's one of us, right? And suddenly, out of nowhere, you go 100k, 200k, 500k, whatever, and there's 1,000 people in your
Stuff
DM,
like this scares me. I'm not gonna.
and
lie.
you realize that okay, this is becoming a trend. No, it is a bit of a scary one. But if people are messaging you on a regular basis about the same thing, you need to make that clear in your bio, in your whatever, saying, if you want to be a better designer, go and listen to the podcast. Episode 5, episode 7,
Yeah.
whatever the
You
episode.
give them resources.
You give them
I love that.
resources. You guide them. That's the whole point of a leader. You guide people. You don't have to go.
That's
and
what
carry them.
Virgil does, you know.
Yeah, you don't feed them. You don't go and give it to them and let them eat it by force. No, you lead them
resources.
to the stream and let them drink it themselves. You know, everybody's lungs or everybody's stomach is different. Not everybody can swallow all the water in the world. Some people can just drink 1 cup and they're full. No, for real. Some people, they only need 1 cup and that's it. They're full. They're ready to go. Some people, they need a whole gallon. So you can't just be sitting there feeling like, okay, how much do you need? Okay, cap. Okay, no, give the resources to them, lead them to the stream, and then they can decide how much they need to take in, how much they need. It might be a thing where they might even get there. Like, actually, I don't even need it. I already knew this. I just needed to be reminded, and that's it. But again, I think the best analogy is the whole Wizard of Oz situation where everybody gets disappointed when the veil is taken off. You know, another thing, you can't be the wizard because the wizard is over promising and under delivering. You know, we can't put ourselves in those positions where we get there and we're like, come to me, we can give you a heart. Come to me, I can give you a brain. No. If you can't do it, don't say it. You know, and that's the thing. It's like if you are a person who is your whole brand and your whole idea and your whole concept is around community, then you should be very, very intentional with your approach. You know, you can't say suddenly I feel like this, and if you change your mind 100%, that's fine. I get it. Human beings are human beings. Sometimes we might falter and decide to change and blah blah. But my thing is like you need to be very, very plain with your, again, the word, your ethics and how you approach design and how you facilitate. Because the thing is, there's some artists who said, I'm not a people person. I'll tell you straight up, I don't like people. I don't really like to interact. So I'm gonna tell you this. I'll even put in the bio, do not DM. Like that's it. They'll be like, do not DM. They'll tell you straight up. So it's like, if that's the case, then you know that if you go in DM and you don't get a response, you're not going to be offended because they've said it there already. They've made it clear. Some people, they'll be like, DM me for any inquiries, and I DM you for an inquiry, and you're telling me that don't DM me. What you just said you said to DM you. I DM you for an inquiry.
Emails, cuz.
Yeah.
I'm currently assessing my life. I can't lie. I'm just like, because I know in the past I've definitely kind of like made a habit of like over promising sometimes, and sometimes like when you're in the moment, and I'm an emotional.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, you get gassed up. How'd you manage that? You know, in the moment you're thinking like,
I got
this.
Yeah. When it comes to the nitty-gritty, it's like, because I know, like for me, I'm an emotional person. So when it comes to expressing emotion, it may be a bit, still working on that, fragile masculinity and whatnot. But when it comes to like the decisions that I make, I'm very emotional in the way that I like choose to do things. So like projects I'm working on, if I have a connection, let's go. Someone that, you talk to, friends, whatever. Yeah. So when I see that someone's in need, naturally I'm just like, oh damn, like what can I do to help? Like I really just want to help you. But then you can make that commitment so quickly and say yes. And then when it actually comes to the reality of stuff, it's like, whoa. And I think sometimes there is a thing of like boundaries that we haven't really like touched on, but I guess is important in all of this, because you can have boundaries. Doesn't mean that you have to be like don't talk to me, put my nose up in the air. All of you guys are commoners, not like that, but just having healthy boundaries where you can like communicate, cool, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. Put in like the outlines in place. I'm willing to help you till this particular point. That's all I can do for now. And I think stuff like that is so important, because I've definitely been in situations where you kind of end up like biting off more than you can chew, because this person's like, oh my God, I want this and this and this. But if you're not then putting those things in place, you can be exhausted, but that's on you because you didn't make those things clear in the first place. So the person that put the thing in their bio to say, don't DM me, I hear that, because sometimes you're like, don't want to talk to anybody, like just leave me alone. That's even part of the reason why I'm even like on a social media break, because I'm just like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired. But yeah, it's just important to put boundaries. Boundaries, please, because
I feel like this is a perfect segue to what I'm going to say right now, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I ain't say nothing wrong. Okay. So actually, one of our listeners you messaged us on our gram. Shout out to you. I don't know if I can say I don't know if I want to say your app, because I don't know if you want me to GDPR and that, but you know who you are. But this person basically sent us like this meme, and maybe put the meme on our gram or something. So designers doing the client amends that ruin the design but gets them paid. Like, how do you lot like deal with like, because you obviously spoke about boundaries, Michael. How? Okay. Why you stop?
Oh my god.
Because I feel like we're a bumpy road right now. How do I navigate through this question? Okay. How do you avoid that situation, or do you just let it happen?
I'm gonna let you handle this one because, yeah.
What do you mean?
No, I feel like
you can
you're
answer.
good at like just putting things clear, and if you don't want to do, it's
Yeah.
your bag.
Clear.
Yeah.
Dude, it's very clear cut.
Not all the time. Not all the time. Because the thing is,
Really?
there's definitely been like Michael was touching on something about sometimes like biting off more than you can chew, and I tend to do that as well. I get very emotionally invested in ideas, and when I'm in, I'm like, let's go. And I always tell people like, anytime a client comes, I'm like, I work very very wholesome, so I like to work like I want to be there when you're talking about the idea. I want to know what's going through your head. I want to know everything, so that we can meet in the middle and none of us feel so like confused as to what the hell this is. So very rarely would I ever get to the point where it's like, can you change that? Actually, I don't even want that anymore. Like, change the whole thing, because it for me it's just like, how did we get here? If we've been discussing this from the top to the bottom, then we should never be at that point where the amends would ruin the work. But in the past, oh my god, it's happened so many times, especially when people just like message you on social media and you're just quote unquote doing it for the money. That's when it goes wrong. And I think I've said the story a few times, but it was about that the person who needed a logo, and I did a logo and they said nah, change the whole thing, and then they ended up looking like something else. So it happened. It happens, yeah. But I can't lie. I think
I need to see this. I need to see this logo. You know.
I can show you sometime.
I need to see it. I need to see it.
I just go through my laptop. But yeah, I think there's some projects that sometimes you could be wrong, and I've learned to kind of like humble myself, because there's sometimes where I'll be like, oh, I don't want to change that because it looks so amazing. If I change it, it will ruin it. But then that becomes the thing that makes the whole, design, or ties everything together for them and their idea. So like I've definitely learned to kind of always kind of like, because you know how like sometimes designers, you can have ego and you want to go in there thinking you're the best designer in the world and your idea is going to be like you're going to change the world with your design. But then really and truly, you're serving a purpose for someone else, and you always want to make sure that it's almost like you're the equivalent of someone who does plastic surgery, and you're basically doing like a whole phase job on an idea. And if you go in there and the person said they want their nose to look like this, and you say, no, I want your nose, this nose looks better.
It will look better like this.
You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be better.
Yeah, it's like when your barber's cutting your hair and it's like, oh, this is a new style.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's like, no, that's not how it works. The client wants what they want, and if they feel like that's what represents them, then you need to find a way to meet them halfway. But also, I totally understand that sometimes designers need to be very, not forceful, that's not the word, but you need to just be firm. Because sometimes the client...
Because I can't lie. Some client amends are crazy.
They'll pretend they understand what's going on, but they don't know what's going on. So it's about being firm and being like, look, I know you think you understand what this is, but trust me, this has this connotation or that has this connotation. There's been times where, I think there was one time where the client wanted a logo design, and it ended up looking like the private parts of a woman. And I was like, this does not look right. It looks like this. And they were like, no, it's fine. It looks like a flower. It's beautiful. And then 2 days later, they changed their mind. And they were like, oh, actually, people have been saying it looks like this. Can we change it? And in my head,
now that people will be asking. Now people will be saying.
You can see what I'm saying. So it's like, there has to be a balance. Sometimes you have to be very firm and be like, look, madam,
vice versa.
Yeah, we like this we can't switch on this. This has to be this. Someone says Comic Sans logo, you're not gonna be like, it's your style, isn't it? Shout out to Comic Sans though.
I was just gonna say, I've had some beautiful logos and designs gone pear-shaped because it's been like, and it really upsets me, and I can't lie, you'll never find those logos again because I told them not to tag me, or it's not been tagged, so It's somewhere. It's somewhere in the design gulag.
Oh,
When with this, I think because we spoke about it once, I think in like maybe episode 2 or 1, where we were like, like sometimes a client will be like, oh, can we do this? And then Burns was like, if it's part of the guidelines, then sometimes you just have to do it if it's part of the guidelines, in it. But it is hard because
yeah.
obviously, like, people are paying you for this, for their business or company or product. So sometimes there's like compromise on both sides. But I kind of feel like with design, it can be a bit of a sales job because you have to like, we spoke about this, like you have to persuade people a bit.
This is the best solution for you.
Yeah, you really have to just give a pitch about why this is the way to go if you really believe in the idea. And I feel like, obviously, if you feel like something is the right thing, as at the end of the day, as a designer, that's what they're coming to you for. Then you fight for it, not to be like, oh, I'm the designer, I'm the pro, you don't know anything. Because I think sometimes there's that like line between, okay, I'm the expert, you've come to me for this service and this is my point of view, and then there's, I'm the expert, I know more than you about your own product, even though it's the client's product or service or business. That can get really iffy. But
Yeah.
if you fought for it and you don't feel like there's any leeway, then sometimes you just have to leave it and just let the client have their way. But I guess it's hard because sometimes that change can be so drastic and you're like, this doesn't look like the same thing anymore. Sometimes you might have to leave if you don't. It's hard. I feel like for some people, they might even leave the project because they don't feel like this is the solution for them. They may pass it on to somebody else. I would probably.
Oh, that's the worst.
I don't think I've been. I've tried to do that, but it failed. You know when people are like, "Nah, but I want you to work on
What,
it."
you try to get it to pass to someone else.
Nah, but I want you to work on it.
Oh yeah, no. I even had a scenario. I was just there like, damn.
I want you to work on it.
It's hard. I guess.
You can't pass it on.
I
You
know
pass it
with
on
me,
to.
I think I'm having to learn that I probably have to be a bit more firm,
Yeah.
and that's uncomfortable for me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like what they call it. I don't like
What, confrontation?
Thank you. I don't like confrontation. You know, I like peace, but yeah, sometimes you just have to be like, I don't feel like this is. I'd probably have to get used to being like, I don't agree with it, but I'm going forward with it, just so they, just so they know. With some people, I've just kind of done it because there's so many chains or people that you have to approve. It's like the heads at the top are saying this thing. I don't personally agree with it. I'm just gonna leave it out.
Yeah.
And not put it in my portfolio, anything like that. Other times might be like you know what? It's a no from me, but
Sorry.
yeah, I probably need to do that though more
Right.
often. It's hard out here in these streets, man.
But you can avoid all that though. That's the thing. Like you just need to make sure that whoever you're working with, you want to try to understand what the hell is going on.
Yes.
Like that's one thing I
Yes.
realized. It's like a lot of designers don't really. They hear the idea like, I can bang that out in 10 minutes. Let me just go. And then 6 months later, they're still working on the same thing, just because they
I
didn't have
am
a
so
conversation.
triggered.
Just because they didn't have a conversation before they actually started.
Oh my
So
God.
like, I just feel like a lot of designers and creatives in general can avoid like. Imagine you're a photographer, yeah, because designers you can get away with it. Imagine you're a photographer, you go and then you shoot this person, and then they see the product and they're like, I'm not happy with it. Where do you go from there? You have to go and shoot again. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, that's one thing that designers, I feel like we trust our skills
That's
too much,
painful.
and we forget that we actually have to have conversations with whoever we're serving and be like, what do you actually want? Because you'll be like, yo, this, I've done that before. You want a logo? Oh, you want this? Oh, you want cursive? Say less. I got cursive, spare fonts. I can just do anything and just send it to you. And then like, actually, I want it handwritten, and I want it like this, and I want the G to look like this. I want the G to touch the F over here, and it's like, oh God, now it's too much. It's like, no, you should have had the conversation before about what exactly the person wants, because you went off on your own creative tangent, and then started creating random things, thinking that the client's just gonna be happy.
Boy.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Like,
And
you
then
need
you're
to have a
stuck.
conversation.
No, communication is really key in things like this. Oh,
Thanks.
God. Yeah.
I like that communication, community. Wow. Us.
Running
Wow.
theme
Look at
here.
us. Who would have thought?
But on that note, lads,
Yeah.
To commune.
we'll commune next time.
We'll commune next time, yeah.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in to today's episode of Rule of Thirds. Feel free to share your thoughts with us using the hashtag Rule of Thirds Pod. And for more from us, follow us on Instagram at Rule of Thirds Pod, or our personal accounts for myself, Burns JNR.
Mike at _ man like Mike.
And Jude at Kente Kwame.
Catch you guys in the next one.